Hello, hello, and welcome to the Friend Leigh Show. I am your host and friend, Leigh. I am really excited that I'm able to do this show. This morning, I was not 100% sure I was going to possibly cancel, but here I am, and I am starting to feel better. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, it has been absolutely awful. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know because there's a lot going on around us and people are it's lasting forever with some people. And I've been really lucky because I just got whatever this flu was, I think Sunday or Saturday night, and it's Wednesday, and I'm a couple hours ago, I felt like I was turning the corner. So I'm super, super excited. I really hope that you guys are going to be here to be able to play along because we're going to do the show a little bit different tonight. If you are new to the show, welcome. This is what we do. So we have, first of all, let me do my disclaimer. My disclaimer is I am not a healthcare professional in any way. If you hear anything in the show that makes it sound like I am giving you a diagnosis, treatment, anything, please know that that's not the case. I'm simply here as your friend. But if something does spark that it's like, ooh, I relate to that. That might be me. Then please take that to your healthcare professional, whether that's your doctor or your therapist, counselor, whoever you think is the best professional to take that to. So the way that we run the show is typically we do a little segment at the beginning where we talk about the theme and how it relates to the happy framework, whatever pillar we're on that week. And then, and I'll talk about the happy framework really quickly in a minute. And then what we do is we get your feedback, which is my favorite part, and we get into discussion. I like to think of it as you're in my living room. I've invited you over to have a little chat, and I've invited some friends. You've invited some friends, and we're just having, a conversation. If you've ever had a conversation with me that's lasted longer than, 15, 20 minutes, it usually becomes, we start here and we end up there, and back here. So that'll probably be the case of the show usually. And then what we do is about the last 15 minutes, we do a lightning round. This is a newer segment to the show and one of my favorites. Britt, thank you so much for pushing me to bring that back. Britt's one of our listeners, and he's been a listener for almost the whole time, I want to say. And he was like, hey, why don't we do that lightning round anymore? I had only done it for a couple episodes, and he was hoping it was an every week thing, and now it's an every week thing. So, but the way that we're going to do it this week, and I'm debating. I don't know. So what I was going to do is I was going to do the lightning round right now, but I'm feeling okay. The reason was because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to last more than 10 or 15 minutes. So let me go through what the happy framework is, where we're at this part of the month, and then I'll do like a mini version of, giving my stuff, and then we will come back to it. So I really hope that when I come back, we're going to have some comments. If you have comments, I'll be bringing them up on the show. If you have comments while I'm doing this next little segment, then I will not bring them up on the show. Oh, but here we go. Okay. So Britt is here. Morning, morning, pretty lady. Well, hello, pretty lady. Hi, sir. So just like that. But when I do this extra little segment, I'm not going to do that. Oh, you can already see. Oh man. See, I'm already starting to heat up. Shoot. I thought I was feeling better. I am feeling better. Okay. So let me do the little part really quickly. So what the happy framework is, it's a framework that I've developed. It's super simple, really tangible, and really useful with my clients, with anybody that uses it really sees benefit, because what it does is it shows 5 different areas within your life that you have 100% control over, finding happiness in those moments. And so if you can really concentrate on focusing to find the happy moments within those areas of your life, then you'll have more happy moments in your day. And more happy moments in your day means more happy moments in your life, right? So That's all of the, there's a lot of science about why I picked this framework, but I wanted to make it as tangible for you guys as possible. So what it is health, affection for yourself, purpose, partnerships, and youthfulness. So during the show, on the first and second week of, no, on the first week of the month, we do the first two pillars. So health and affection for yourselves, because those really do go hand in hand. The second week, we do the third pillar, which is purpose. The third week, we do the fourth pillar, which is partnerships. And this is the last week of February. Can you believe it? March is next week. Actually, this weekend. Wow. And so we're going to be talking about youthfulness. And what we do is we pick a theme every week, every month. I'm sorry, my brain is just not, this is the first time I'm alive in like a real full conversation, I feel, in the last like 4 or 5 days. You'll notice I'm going to laugh a lot too. I was talking to Mike. Here's my swirling moment. I was talking to Mike today and he said something and I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. And he kind of looked at me like, okay. And we just kept going on talking. And he said something else. And I laughed and he's like, are you okay? Because neither one of those things were really funny, actually. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I haven't really laughed, like belly laughed in like the 3 or 4 days because had zero energy, guys. Like, could not stay awake. Like, it was awful. And I am very used to laughing throughout the day. And so I was like, I feel like my body knows that, like, oh, I have the energy to laugh now. See, I'm going to do it again. Oh my gosh. I really do feel like I've trained my body to find laughter and joy in most moments. And I think, I'm sorry, I don't know why. I do think that's why. That my body is just like so joyful that it's feeling okay right now, that it's just like, let's just laugh. Let's just laugh about everything. So anyway, so get ready for more of that today, okay? So what we do is we have a theme every month. This month we did love because it's February. And so we looked at, we always look out of like at everything that we're talking about through the lens of happiness. How can we bring more joy and happiness into our life? And so the theme being love, we wanted to tie that into youthfulness. And here are just a few things that I wrote down that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I think is really, really, really important. When we talk about youthfulness, what I'm saying is it's not just that childlike spirit. It's, that is part of it, but it's also like going after things like even your work and, uncomfortable conversations in your partnerships, in your relationships, going at all of those things with the curiosity of a child. I think it lightens the load a lot more. It takes if you're more curious, then you're not as judgy. It's hard to be really judgy when you're also curious. Like those two, you can do it if you're good at it. But for the most part, you can't really do both well. And so it lightens it if you tend to be a judgy kind of person. And then it helps not make other people defensive. And so going after things in more of a curious, playful kind of thing, just realizing that life is short. And this is going to sound, I feel like maybe every time that we talk about youthfulness, I always end up having something that I say, this is probably going to sound morbid, but okay. So this is going to sound morbid. And I just thought about it now because everybody here has just been on like the brink of our days are gone. Like it's been awful here. And there is a possibility. So we say we don't know when our last day is going to be, what we don't know when our last moment is going to be. And I just thought about it now. How awful. And I'm sorry if this is going to trigger you. So I'm sorry. Because if this has happened to you, I'm just so sorry. But how awful if you were in an argument with somebody and they passed away, if they had a massive heart attack during that episode. If that's the case, I want you to understand that that is not possible to have a heart attack in a moment and be super healthy otherwise. So like because you're in an argument, you're not going to have a heart attack and die, and that was the cause. And if you didn't have that argument, it wouldn't have happened. That was just and again, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I mean, we're all smart people. But our hearts will make us think, oh my gosh, I yelled at him, and we were in a fight, and he got heated and he died. That's my fault. I shouldn't have had that fight. No, there was probably a lot of factors why his heart was not strong, right? But anyway, I just wanted to like kind of caveat that to let you guys know that, like, because I think there's so much shame and so much blame that happens in our life and the load that we carry as we're going forward, that we really need to start looking at things rationally. However, that being the case, do you want to be in that situation that you're yelling and arguing with somebody, and they have a heart attack, even though they were going to have a heart attack that day at some point because something was going to rattle them because their heart was just at that point? But do you want to be that person? Do you want to be in that situation? And so I think if we bring more curiosity and more playfulness to the situation, then I think it will kind of just lighten everybody's day. It'll make everything a little bit easier. And believe it or not, it makes the conversations, even though uncomfortable, and usually more times than not, especially the uncomfortable ones, easier to get through. And you can actually get through them because you're not heated. And so it stops. It's like, that's it, I can't take this anymore. And you just storm off and you never got to a resolution. If you are more curious and playful, you're able to get to that resolution a lot quicker, and a lot more peacefully. So that's what I want to talk about, is that youthfulness, but also that love. Really coming at it from a place of love is really, really important. And if we interject both of those, like I could have had that as part of the pillar, but youthfulness and love, those go hand in hand. Like children just love everybody until they are taught not to, right? Until they are taught either directly or indirectly by society what to love, who to love, all of those things. But just generally, they come out of the womb and they are ready to love on you, right? For the most part, yes, there's caveats, there's little outliers, but for the most part, this is what childlike youthfulness is. So I want you to be thinking about that when you're going. We've been talking about love and relationships last week. Think about youthfulness and love and relationships. Those go hand in hand. Staying curious. And one of the big things, these are the last two things I want to say, and then I want to come over to you guys because I can already see myself. I can feel I'm fading. I'm getting hot. So so the two things I really want you to think about when we're thinking about this whole thing is laughing more. I said that in the beginning. Laughing more is one of the biggest, easiest things for us to be able to do, to lighten a mood, to lighten all of our senses, to be able to take down and calm our nervous system. Yes, there's a nervous laugh, but a real true belly laugh can really heal, can truly heal. There's been studies that have proven that laughter daily can heal. And so I want you to think about laughing. And one of the coolest things to do, and I dare you to go and do this. If you go and I would imagine you can do it on YouTube. It just happens to me randomly because obviously my algorithm looks very different than most people's, but my algorithm is Facebook, Instagram, all of the things are like, you want happiness, here's happiness. Like if you don't like your algorithm, if you don't like what you're seeing all day, like pay attention to different things. I see happiness all day long. Like those are quotes that are just blah, 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 all over, memes, all the things, because it knows that that's what I like. And that's what I'm going to spend time on. So I'm going to stay on their platform to find more of those things. So anyway, but I'm certain that you could probably go to YouTube and put, child laughing or baby laughing videos and watch it. And I dare you to try to not laugh. You won't be able to. They are contagious. And if you don't laugh on the first one, just listen to it and repeat. I promise you will start laughing. Children, their youthfulness, their carefreeness, and their laughter is just so innocent and so joyful that it will be contagious. The other thing is love yourself like you're young again. Love yourself like you're young again. You know, we didn't care when we were kids until we started understanding body image and all of this garbage that was thrown at us. Unfortunately, some kids got it thrown at them very young, but we didn't care when we were. You know, if you were lucky enough to live a childhood, um, you're 5 years old. You didn't care if you had your shirt on, if you were a girl. You were just out there. And I'm not saying, okay, now you're 40, go shirtless. What I'm saying is like we didn't care about anything. Like my nickname was Little Sumo because I had it looked like I had elastic bands all over my little body. Like I was just like this chubby, roly-poly Michelin man. And my nickname was Little Sumo. That never affected me as being a chubby kid. I never felt like a chubby kid until I was in grade school and I was made fun of for being a chubby kid. But when I was growing up, just before I had all of that society thing, and it was just like, oh, this might Little Sumo. I didn't know. I didn't go and like YouTube what an actual sumo man looks like and get offended. I just was like, and just like would walk around just like, oh my gosh, it was nuts. Now we have like one role and we're devastated. Let's be more youthful and love ourselves like we're young. Love yourself like you're the Michelin man or a Little Sumo. Okay. So I'm going to go over, I'm going to see if you guys have any things that you're wanting to share, that you're liking, that you're learning, or that you want to share that you're like, hey, you know what? This is also when I think of youthfulness and love, this is what I think of. And then I've got a couple questions. I'll have to open that up because I went to Chat GPT. Let me open that up right now. There we go. Because I asked them, I was like, could you get some questions for me? Because again, I'm still not at my house. So I'm not able to have like my cool card deck. I should, you know what? I'm going to have Mike drop them off at my parents' mailbox. He's been staying away. I haven't seen him in a while because it's just been like a layer here. It's been awful. And so anyway, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to have him send those to me. Mike, if you are watching this, can you please bring those over? He probably won't do that right now. Actually, he will not do that now. He's on a podcast right now. So, but for next week, I will have the cards. Okay. Okay. Anywho. Okay. So Tina is here and she's tuning in from LinkedIn. Awesome. Okay. Good to know that that works over there. Tina says that happened to me. I got into a huge argument with a friend, and the next night he died in an accident. Oh, Tina, I am so sorry. That sucks. That really, really sucks. And I know that you are coach extraordinaire. I hope you either self-coach yourself, found a coach for that, or found a therapist and talked about it because that could be hard. That could be hard. There could be a lot of shame and guilt and things that go along with it. I hope that's not the case for you. I'm hoping maybe you're a little more aware about that. It's funny, like Tina, I think of her as being like, she's very aware and she's always curious about what she's not aware of, like her blind spots. She's always like, why did I feel that way? Why did that make me feel this way? Like always asking the questions that we always talk about on the show. And, but I'd be curious, like that may have affected you, Tina, like that sucks. I'm sorry, but it happens. It really, really happens. And that's awful. Mel says, hey, beautiful friend. Hey, woman. How are you? I'm so happy you're here. Yeah, so something's happening. I can't really see the count of people watching. Normally I can like see that there's eyeballs, but anyway, I'm glad there's people here. So thank you for commenting because I wouldn't have known. Anyway, okay, so let me go back to those questions. Oh, wait, do you guys have anything that you guys want to share about it? Not really. Okay, if you do, go ahead and write it. But I'm going to do the lightning round now because I am like really heating up. And gosh, it actually looks quite nice, doesn't it? Oh, looking flush looks good on Haley. Okay, so here are the questions that it came up with. Let's see. Because I haven't read them yet. I was just like, just before the show, I was like, oh shoot, I gotta get questions. And I just could not put them together. Thankfully, I put my notes together earlier. Okay, so what does it say? It says, okay, we'll do the first three. One, what's one thing that always makes you laugh no matter what? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Number two. Oh, and here, you guys, in case you're watching this for the first time, I'm going to do 3 questions. I want you to answer them. This is like how we get to know our friends in the living room. So answer your question, and you can just answer it and then hit send. So then we have it and then start answering the next one kind of thing. Don't wait until you have all 3 and send it out. It just makes it a better conversation. And I will be repeating them a couple times through. So don't freak out that you didn't remember what the first one was or the third one. It's okay. Just grab one and start answering. Okay. So what's one thing that always makes you laugh no matter what? Number 2 is, if you had to relive one playful moment from your childhood, what would it be? Ooh, okay. And number 3, what's the silliest date or friendship memory you have? Okay, interesting. And excuse my nails. Oh my gosh, I hate that I don't have my nails done. I've like had years of always having my nails done, and this I just have not. It's awful. Doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel pretty. Okay, so I'm back in the show here. Okay, so Pop says, number 1, my dogs can always make me laugh. Yeah, me too. I was gonna go with the baby route, like that YouTube baby, and I like always laugh when they laugh. But yeah, my dog can like literally just be looking at me. I'm sure she thinks I'm nuts, or she must think that like laughter is just like what all humans do, because she just looks so. She's a little girl, but she's a miniature schnauzer, so she looks like a little like man. And she's got like these big eyebrows. And she's like 6 years old. And I'm just realizing that I can actually like move her eyebrows. They're white eyebrows. She's a black dog and she's got white eyebrows and then like white markings. But her eyebrows, I just realized this during this time when I was sick, that I can move her eyebrows over and they're black underneath. So I can actually make her eyebrows do whatever I want. It's not like they're just like all white. So I go like that and make her look like I'm really mad. Or I'm really bushy, or I'm really surprised. Welcome to, I don't know, me. Am I going through a fever right now? I don't know. Anyway, good one, Britt. That's a really good one. Yeah, my dog can always make me laugh. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that one. Number 2, you know what another thing is? I'm gonna tell you what another thing is that I tried this. I think it was during the pandemic. I was having a really hard time laughing. So I was just really sad. I was crying all the time at the very beginning when it was just like 30 days, borders closed, you're not gonna see your husband. Like, well, he wasn't my husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, but I was like, it was just like a constant thing, and everybody's talking about death. And I just like, I was really going through it. It was really hard. But then I was like, I'm not laughing. This sucks. Like, there's nothing to laugh about. And it worked for me. I just started laughing. So it was like a creepy, not a real laugh. I don't even know if I could, because I'm laughing so much right now, I probably couldn't even do it, but it was something like silly, like, ha ha ha. Anyway, and I would do that in my room and just be like, ha 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 ha, hee 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 hee, ho, and make this like weird laugh. But as I was listening to it, and I would keep doing it until I was like, you're nuts. And then it would lighten and I would start laughing. So me making myself laugh always works. I always end up laughing. Sometimes it takes a while, but it always works. But my dog, she can do it like that. Okay, so number 2 was, if you had to relive one playful moment from your childhood, what would it be? Okay, so Britt says 1.5, you're making me laugh right now. Awesome. See, it's contagious. Have you guys ever seen, there's a video where there's like, I guess it's like a subway station kind of thing, or like an Amtrak, I don't know, something. And somebody just starts laughing, like there's a big group of people and everybody's quiet and everybody's looking forward, and then just somebody goes in the middle and then they just start laughing, and like you don't even know what they're laughing about. You assume that they're on the phone laughing or whatever, and then everybody around them all starts like smiling, like they can't help it, and then he keeps laughing and laughing, and then before you know it, everybody's just laughing and looking at each other and laughing because they're laughing. Like, so it's contagious. It's contagious. What's one playful moment? Well, I'm going to tell you where my mind goes with this one. I'm going to tell you where my mind goes with this one. And it's, if you had to relive one playful moment from childhood, what would it be? There was a time, I was on the jungle gym. I can't even remember how old I was. I might have been 5. I might have been 7, something like that. So in that age range. And I was just like a little, whatever they're called, like a little monkey. Like I was just always like, I would go up the slide backward, and crawl up, and I would go and like flip on the things. I would do all the things. I had no fear. I was totally fine. I was super. And one time I went and I was hanging upside down from the monkey bars and my shirt went over my head. You guys, I'm 5 or 6, however old I am. Anyway, this little boy comes over and he starts making fun of me. And I was like, I saw Leanne shirtless. Oh my goodness, she's naked. And he's telling all of the other boys in the class. And so recess that day sucked. And I would want to relive that. And I would want to relive it, and I would want to relive it like with the confidence that I have, not now, but the confidence that I had up until that moment. Because that moment things changed. And then I was like very like prim and proper. Like isn't that sad at 5 years old? I was like very like nervous about anybody ever seeing me. And I started like getting a little bit more nervous about like being on the jungle gyms and all that kind of thing. So I would want to relive that one and a little bit differently, just not letting that affect me. And I know that we can't do that, but that's what I want. And I know that is also not exactly the intention of that question. So sorry, ChatGPT. Anyway, I love how my mind works. Okay, so Britt says, 2, not enough childhood memories to remember anything specific. Okay, so this is what I was going to ask too. You guys, when you think of your childhood, oh gosh, okay, we're going to be wrapping up. I think we're only doing 3 questions today, you guys. When you guys think of your childhood, so Britt, you kind of just answered it, but do you remember like vivid memories of your childhood, or are they based on pictures that you've seen? Because I realize like that memory is instilled in me, but the majority of my memories of like really like being a child, like a little one, are through pictures. It's like, oh, I remember that birthday. Oh, I remember that vacation. Oh, I remember, but I don't remember the actual full vacation. I just remember the picture sequence of what that was. So I'm curious how your memories work, if you guys had better memories. Mel says, I missed number 1 and 2. No problem. I'll let you know. So number 1 was, what's one thing that always makes you laugh no matter what? And so this is not what we talked about before, but when you figure that out, and if you're listening to this in the replay, I want you to like take the time right now and answer that for yourself. And I want you to like put that in your pocket or in a pocket memory where you can access that when you're feeling really sad, just be like, you know what? Lulu, come here. My dog's name is not Lulu, so I don't know why I said that. Oh, it was probably smart, so I didn't actually call my dog. But anyway, you could call your dog in and like let them, make you laugh. Or if it's baby videos, you could go on and like watch that. So do that for yourself. Figure out what that answer is, and then have that in your back of your mind that you do that, and you do it when you're sad, but you also just do it daily. Make sure that you're laughing daily, guys. So important and so good for your youthfulness. Like, you'll look younger if you're happier and you're laughing more. It's just fact, science, truly science. So, and then number 2, Mel, was, if you had to relive one playful moment from childhood, what would it be? And I just went TMI on that one and didn't really answer the question because I guess it wasn't very playful. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and then the third question was, what's the silliest date or friendship memory you have? Okay. So I'm going to go see what you guys are saying, but then I will see. Okay. So Mel says, a baby's laugh, it's contagious. And that's what I do on Pinterest before I go to bed. That's awesome. That is so good, Mel. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. That's so good. Yeah, doing it right before you go to bed, or doing your happy reflection sheet. Anybody? Are you guys doing it? Is so good because whatever we're listening to, whatever we're taking in right before we go to bed, our brain is frequent, like the frequency of our brain is at this reception level that it can take in just about anything. And that can really affect your dreams. It can affect how you wake up in the morning. And so priming yourself. So Mel, that is pretty awesome that you prime yourself with happiness. That's so good. And then Britt says number 3 would be, I would have to get permission to share. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Okay, awesome. Mel says 2, playful moment would be making mud pies, playing in the rain. Oh, that's so awesome. Do you still play in the rain? Because I do. There's so many times that I'll go out in the rain and then I'll adult it for a second and I'm like, oh, I gotta cover up. And then I'm like, why? It's weird. And then I just go. Mind you, I also have short hair, so it makes it a lot easier for me to upkeep getting to my next place. But I love playing and dancing in the rain. Okay. So Mel says we don't get much rain. Oh yeah, you're in Texas, so I guess you wouldn't. Sorry. Okay. You could get Britt to make some rain. Just get the hose. Did you guys ever do that as kids? That you get the hose and you put your thumb in the sprayer? Well, I guess you could do it. Okay. We would do that because when we were young, when we were kids, I remember that we would do this. So we would have that sprinkler, the sprinkler that was anyway. Me and my sister would get it and we would run around and spray each other with it. But then we weren't allowed to do that because you're not allowed, you got to leave it on the ground, whatever. So then we realized that we could unhook it from the sprayer. So then you could put your thumb into it and make your own kind of spray and spray it up into the air. And when it came down like rain. So you could make your own rain. Mel? Oh my gosh. I need to go and have a Tylenol and go to bed. I think this is a fever. But I think it's one of two things. It's either a fever or it's what I told Mike, because I had it again this afternoon where I was just laughing so much because I haven't laughed. And it's it was all pent up because I'm so used to laughing throughout the day. So I think that's probably what it is. Mel says, not like we used to. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, okay. Hey, buddy. So yeah, I don't need cheap viewers, but I appreciate your trying to help. You're awesome. Okay. So Mel's mayonnaise is laughing. Yeah. So I'm nuts right now, you guys. Okay. And I love it. So what's the silliest date or friendship memory? Oh, I've had so many, you guys. It's just so silly with my friends. What's one that's really fun? So, there's people in your life that were kind of only in your life for a hiccup, but they really there was a really good time. Well, I had a friend, his name was Ryan Bode. That's what his name was. Yes, Ryan Bode. And we were just friends for a hiccup, I think in high school. And Ryan, if you're listening to this, I doubt it, but hey, man, what's up? Anyway, we went through this little hiccup and we would go and I can't remember exactly what, but every time that we would go out, it would be the funniest thing ever. And I think what we did, I'm pretty sure this is what we did, and it's so silly, but we'd go to a coffee shop. We would go to a coffee shop. Now, we weren't making fun of people. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. It really wasn't a mean thing at all. We'd go to a coffee shop and we'd sit inside. And we would just, when people were walking by outside, so they couldn't hear what we were saying. But it was this big picture window downtown. And so you could see people walking across the street. and you could see them walking for a while. And we would immediately find like a couple or like two people. And then we would say, okay, I got blue shirt, you got pink shirt, or whatever it is. And we would pick it. And then we had to carry on the conversation as if we were those people the whole time we were walking down. So we would do that, and it was hysterical. So then that like escalated, where then we would go out and we would never be our own person when we go. So we would just start talking as if like the other person was, I don't know, I can't even make it up now, but we would say things like we'd be at a restaurant and then we would be like, oh yes, Ryan is a chef actually at a Michelin restaurant in Detroit. Yes, he could actually tell you how to make this a little bit better. So the waitress would have to be like, and we would always tip really well, but we would. But the funny part is that I would have to put him on like not display, but like on the spot. And so now he'd have to be like, oh yes, well, what I would do, and he has no idea how to cook. So just be this dumb thing. Eventually, like though, I mean, not eventually, usually like the other person would know immediately that we were just like having a good time. Also, because I can't keep a straight face. So I would just be like, I could say like maybe the first part of it, and then I would just be like, all right, I want to see how you handle this one. Anyway, we were again in high school. Not sure if it would have been as funny now. I think it probably would have been because I'm still kind of a child when it comes to my funniness. But anyway, so that's probably my funny, silly thing that just like popped into my mind. So there you go. I gotta take a breather. That wasn't good for a podcast. Sorry if you're listening to this in the audio version and there was a bug there that it was just a delay. It wasn't a bug. It was me just breathing and taking a moment. Okay. So Mel said, number 3, my childhood friend and I remade Princess Di's royal wedding. Oh, that's fun. We stayed up watching the wedding, and then the next day we recreated it. Oh, that's so nice. Do you know, I think I was probably like the only girl that didn't watch it. Like, don't even know. Don't even know. Didn't pay attention. And I had like girlfriends that were like, we're gonna have a slumber party. And they were like all over it. And I was like, nah, I don't know. I was always like a boys girl. I didn't really care about that kind of stuff. But no, it would have been nice to be a part of that. Because I could really tell you my story about how I did something similar, but I can't. So that's awesome though. So Mel says, now that's funny. Also in high school, dragging the streets, we would do Chinese fire drills around the cart. Yes, yes. Kids don't do that now. The streets are too full and people are texting. We didn't have people texting when we were kids. So it was really nice. People actually watched the road. I really do think that's part of it. Like, really? Like, I think it's some of the things that we did. And I was like, how did we get away with the things that we did and we didn't get hit? But that's what it was, is that people actually paid attention to driving when they were driving. I mean, sometimes they weren't, but they weren't in their phone. Okay. Something else just popped in my head, that there was like a funny thing that, when Dumb and Dumber came out, that was my favorite movie. And I had a friend. So what year do you guys know when that came out? Anyway, I was probably like 14, 15, 13, 16. I don't know, somewhere in that range. And I remember my friend and I, not only did we watch it a million times, we actually wrote out all the words to almost every scene, like not the whole thing in its entirety. It was like, oh, that's a funny scene. And so we would write out the words, and it was like, this is your part, this is my part. And so we would write it out, and then we would actually like rehearse it, that we could do a play about it. And so we could like pretty much recite anything. And there's still to this day certain things that just get triggered, that it's like, I don't even know, my brain's not working right now, but I could do almost every scene from that show. Is my favorite one. It's so good. I want to watch that again, actually. Did you guys like it? Dumb and Dumber? Did you watch Dumb and Dumber 2? Did you watch Dumber and Dumber? Is that what it was? Or something? Anyway, first one's the original, best one. I loved it. Okay, here we go. Mel says, one night we decided to turn the drag around, go opposite. That's awesome. Could you do that today? I don't think so. I doubt it. Mel says, yeah, that's Brit's favorite movie too. Not, oh, he hates it. See, yeah, it turns people off, right? It's like either people love it or they hate it. There's not many people that are like, it's okay. Like, it's fine. I'd watch it again if I had to. No. Um, Britt says, okay, hate that movie. I had two roommates that would watch that at least once a week and quote the whole thing. Who would do that? It's so annoying. I agree. I agree. Next one was Dumb and Dumber. Yeah. It really is annoying. And I don't know who I don't know who would do that. That sounds obnoxious. Give it another chance, Britt. Watch it one more time. Anyway, you guys, I have gone double the time than I thought I was going to go. I am going to wrap it up tonight. I love you. It's a little bit shorter than we usually do, but a lot longer than I thought we were going to. I want to know from you guys what theme you want to do for next for March. I've got a couple ideas. I'm not 100% sure. So if you've got some ideas that you want to think about how we're going to look at the 5 pillars of the happy framework, and we're going to look at them through the lens of this theme, let me know. I'm also going to I've got the 75 happy instead of the 75 hard challenge, and that is going to be coming out on the International Day of Happiness, which is March 20th. 2025. And so that's still a little ways away, but we're going to be doing that. So I don't know if the theme could like tie into that somehow. I don't know. Thriving. I don't know. We're going to come up with something. I had like a list that I made a couple weeks ago. I'll pull that out and see. But if you have something, you let me know. I love you guys. If you're listening to this in the recording, thank you so much. But can you please come on over on Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, or whatever the equivalent is for you. And you can come on over to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitch. And you can watch it live and be part of the show, just like Mel and Britt. So thank you guys so much for being here. I love you, love you, love you so much. And I'll see you later. All right. Oh, there we go. Laters, Britt. Love you, Mel. Bye.